Hello! So, I haven't made a face-to-camera video in quite a while. I'm making this video on the Canon T2i because our Canon 5D has been sent away from whence it came because it's been a fiasco, but basically I'm not very good with techie type stuff. I understand like camera lenses and things like that. I don't understand. I always thought a memory card was a memory card, but basically that's not true. So we think that it bent the prongs inside of our camera where you put the memory card, so we had to send it away because it's not working at all. And I guess I've had so much going on here with these projects, and now that that camera's gone, I've kind of been able to take a pause and just kind of look back at this entire process. I was walking into this building that we shoot at a lot, and you know, I just realized how not nervous I was. When we started this documentary, I was scared to death of talking to people, and you know, it just seemed like such a daunting process, and how now I'm so much more confident with it, and the footage we have looks great, and everybody's being so awesome and cooperative and inspiring, and it's just amazing. And I had a good feeling about this project months and months ago when I first came up with the idea for it, but you know, it's blossomed way bigger and better than I could have ever imagined. And something that's interesting that's happening is the way it's affecting me. And not having the camera this week has just let me look back and realize how it's affecting my process, and more so the way that I view my own process, my creative ways of doing things. I went back through and I wrote another draft of a script that I had written probably a year and a half or so ago, maybe longer, I'm not really sure. And it had already gone through a couple incarnations, and I decided to write another draft of it for us to shoot in August. And I was just more aware of what I was doing and things that I didn't even think about. I'm like, oh my god, this is considered my process. I was aware of what I was doing, and basically what I do is I start pacing back and forth in my room, like every day before I start writing, and also for days before I initially begin, I'm just pacing. And I go through my iPod and I just shuffle until I hit songs, and then I get stuck on the same couple songs on repeat, and this time it was Peggy Honeywell, and I was just listening to her whole album and start over and start over and start over from the initial pacing all the way through till I was finished, including the rewrites and the little edits that I did and everything else. And you know, I had done that all along, and I didn't really think of anything. I didn't even realize I listened to, it sounds so weird, but I didn't even realize I listened to music until I heard an interview with Cameron Crowe where he was talking about how the soundtrack comes to him as he's writing. And I was like, how can you listen to music and write at the same time? Not even realizing that I freaking do that too. It's so weird, and I'm so proud of this story and these characters, and I just feel like it's not very often that you hit that threshold where the stories write themselves, and I feel like I hit that point with this one. The characters just start speaking for themselves, and that's why you don't even realize what you're doing, and it's not often you get into that zone where they kind of take on a life of their own. I have like the Ben Affleck syndrome of passive main characters, and I broke through that this time, and I had to consciously do it. I'm like, oh no, it's, you know, it's just subconscious and a creative output and it'll come to me. No, I had to actually stop pacing, stare at the wall, and try and put myself in the character's shoes, and it was just really cool. And I actually got really sad for a second, and then I kind of got out of it, and I just was able to write the story from his perspective after that. And I never would have really taken the pause to do that, I don't think, if it weren't for this documentary and seeing how these artists work. You know, it's so far outside of my comfort zone. It's so far outside of the artist's comfort zone who I'm covering, and I think we're all reaching a new height, and it's just to help keep you growing so you don't become stagnant. You become really complacent in what's your best and what you're your furthest reach, that if you just keep pushing, you'll just keep growing and growing and growing. And yeah, I just wanted to make a video about that. And you know, everyone's been so open and so trusting of me, and it's made me more open and more trusting of them, and it's just been a really, really interesting journey. I'm so excited for this short film. Oh my god. We've already started pre-production on it. We're going to be shooting in August. It's huge. It's going to be like half an hour, 45 minutes long, and the documentary is going to be a feature, you know, hour and 45. But this short film is going to, we're going to be pooling a lot of resources for this one, but yeah, I just wanted to get my thoughts in order, and I felt like I just needed to say all of these things. And I just wanted to say, just create. Just create. It doesn't matter if you think it sucks. It doesn't matter if it's not what you envisioned. Just create for the sake of creating. Just get it out of your system. It doesn't matter if no one in the world ever sees it. It doesn't matter if you scrap it and throw it out after. Just make stuff. I urge you to just try, because you never know. And, you know, reach out to people around you, because there are great people there, I promise. So thank you for listening and supporting, and just... Okay, bye.
Do aardvarks even make a sound?